How's everybody doing out there? I'm W.F.S. and I wanted to talk to you today about a nasty little thing that apparently happened on The View about 2 days ago. Voting Republican, like roaches voting for Raid. Oh, doesn't that just make you feel like you really want to watch that show? Or does it make you really want to spew? The ugliness that just comes from this show never ceases to amaze me. You have these women on the show talking about what they feel is important. God bless them for that. But when they have to resort to things like this, just comparing people to roaches because they, the voter, are not voting the way the people on The View want you to vote, that's just plain ugly. And the funny thing about it is that these are the very same people, and people like them, that would automatically demand somebody get fired from their job if these same comments were said about someone they knew or about them. They would be livid. Or as Shrek would say, they'd be lighting the pitchforks. Lighting the torches and grabbing the pitchforks. The View host, co-host Sunny Hostin earlier this week compared suburban white women who were voting Republican in the midterm elections to roaches voting for Raid. I read a poll just yesterday that white Republican suburban women are now going to vote Republican. Hosting said during the ABC broadcast Thursday, it's almost like roaches voting for Raid. They're voting against their own self-interest. Do they want to live in Gilland, a Handmaid's Tale? Hostin was reacting to a Wall Street Journal poll this week that showed white suburban women swinging 27% points from the 12-point Democrat advantage in the 2020 to a 15-point GOP advantage in this year's election cycle. See, this is a problem. This is still the United States, isn't it? I mean, after all, we do have the right to vote the way we want to vote, not because we're Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal. We vote because it serves our best interests, and we're voting for someone who we feel will do the job that helps us, me, my family, and my prosperity as an American. These are the things that we are allowed to do. And just because somebody votes one way, most of the time, apparently it seems, does it give them the right to flip-flop? Of course it does. They have a right to vote the way they want to vote, but not according to the people on this show. You will vote the way we feel you should vote, or we're going to destroy you. Shame on you for voting against what we want. According to the Journal, the key group makes up 20% of the total electoral and helped both President Donald Trump in 2016 and President Joe Biden in 2020 win the office. The poll found 54% of the 297 white suburban women respondents believing that the country is currently in a recession, and 74% believing the country is on the wrong track. There is nothing wrong with this poll. It is absolutely correct. And these people have a right to vote the way they want to. It is our God-given right, and it is our constitutional right. This is just way out of control, this party line nonsense. On the same subject of not knowing how to vote, we have Hillary Clinton just a couple of days earlier basically saying, here it is right here, Hillary Clinton says Tuesday night that the Americans don't really understand what is at stake in the midterm elections, and they haven't grasped what it could mean if Republicans retake the House and Senate. There it is right there. Hillary Clinton says, You don't understand what it means to vote. You don't understand what it means. This vote is so important, and you just don't really comprehend the racism, the sexism, the total homophobia and xenophobic behavior that is taking place in the country, and you just are not paying attention to the real issues. Why, a couple of days earlier, Nancy Pelosi was out there saying that it's not about inflation and that she's encouraged her party to push away from talking about that. And this is a big problem in our country. It really is. We have elitists in charge of our government, and we have turned politicians who we pay to go to Congress to represent us and what we need done for our country, we have turned these people into celebrities who care more about their social status, their economic status, and we are in the rear view mirror waving at them to try to get them to hit the brakes and talk to us. The only time they do slam on those brakes to talk to us is when it's a midterm election or when it's time for them to get elected president. And this, my friends, is a problem. But thankfully, it's a problem that we're going to fix on Tuesday. Yes, it looks like the House will be taken by the Republicans. And as of right now, it looks like there's a 55% chance that the Senate will be taken by the Republicans too. What does all this mean? Let me tell you what all this means. It means that whatever happens in this midterm election, the American people must stay awake. We must stay awake now. We must demand better from our elected officials. Whether you're a Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, whatever side of the aisle you seem to be on, that has to go away right now, or at least be be pushed aside for the moment. Our country's in trouble. Our enemies are growing. We've got North Korea threatening nuclear strikes. We've got China threatening our economic prosperity. We've got Russia threatening nuclear strikes. We've got all sorts of nonsense going on at home. We've got a president and vice president and a Congress right now that just absolutely refuses to defend the southern border. We've got a whole mess of political agendas being shoved down our throat. Whatever side of the aisle you're on, God bless you for being on that side. I am not here to tell you what's right or wrong regarding those agendas. That is something that can be debated later, but what is important right now is getting our country back on track. No more of these agendas, no more sexual agendas, no more political agendas. The only agenda that needs to happen right now is bringing Americans together to build our country back to the great legacy that it is and will be. Recently, an article came out that said America's best days are behind it. I'm sorry, that's wrong. America's best days are still ahead of it. And what I'm asking of you is, do you believe that? And if you do believe that, then help me try to make it better. And the best way to make it better is, number one, hold our politicians accountable. Number two, politicians every year, per the Constitution, must have a balanced budget. They are not. They continuously are kicking it down the road for the next group to deal with, endangering your children and their children's prosperity. This must end. The gravy train must end, people. We must put an end to the political lobbying that takes place in our country. People say, oh no, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. It happens if we demand it. It happens if we also demand a constitutional convention that will help us take more control back from the politicians and put it in the hands of the people who put them there. My friends, there's a lot of things we can say or do about all this, but I really, really, really hope that you agree with me on these things. And if you don't, and if you have your own way of thinking about it, God bless you. I'm going to end my video right now, but I just wanted to get these things out here and just ask you, what do you think is the best way to help this beautiful country of ours? It's not a bad place. It's got problems. And if we get these people, these agenda-driven people out and put people who actually give a damn about this place and about you and about me, we will get something fantastic here. Well, if you liked the video, please click the like and subscribe button, and I would love to hear see your comments, my friends. I'm W.F.S, your doctor, and God bless you, and God bless America.